Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is me, RSF1 Cornish, and I am bringing you my season in RSF1. It is the start of season 6. We are kicking it off with Bahrain. We run full qualifying and 50% race round here, so this is just going to be in Q1. This is just the end of my Q1 lap. Nothing spectacular, but it just got a decent lap on the grid really, and was able to get me through, coming in with a 26.6. As I said, nothing groundbreaking, but it did mean that I finished third in Q1, so I'll take that. Always happy with that result. Coming into Q2, now the strategy I wanted to go for around here was to make sure I qualified on the mediums, because the soft tyres, they just fell away after like 3 laps, if I'm honest, in the race. So yeah, not solid. Well, especially at the start with full fuel, they were horrendous anyway. But my plan was just to do 1 lap on these mediums, and straight away I did that. Bloody idiot, invalidated. So I ended up having to go on a second run, and on my second run I did the same flipping thing. So I ended up having to do a third run on my medium tyres, coming back and crossing the line with a 27.5, which was enough to get me through. But yeah, I was not happy, because I'd ended up doing 3 laps on those tyres when I really didn't want to. So that compromised me for the race. But coming into Q3, this was my first lap, and actually I nailed the first sector, but then coming through here, just got too greedy with the curb, hit too much of it, and managed to just about catch the curb, but obviously that ruined my first run. I ended up bottling my 3 other runs, the other tyre on that one and then on this one, so it resorted down to 2 minutes left on the session, my second set of tyres, with my second lap on these tyres, to try and get in. This is my actual lap that I got completed. Missed the apex there as well. I just wasn't feeling overly confident in the car during this qualifying session. In practice, I was able to do 26.1s, 26.2s, whereas I didn't really get anywhere near that tonight. But yeah, that little bit of section was not bad. Coming down to probably the trickiest corner on this track, just slightly missing the apex and going a bit wide again. Got a good bit of traction coming out of that corner, but it just isn't a nice lap really. Managed to just kiss the apex there, and there you'll see I did gain a lot of time on my delta there. 200s, nearly 3/10, sorry. And actually managed to set a purple middle sector, which I was quite surprised with there. But yeah, just a bit all over the place. You saw me nearly lose the rear there. Coming down to the final corner, obviously I'm 2.5 tenths up, but I lose a boatload of time there. There's just loads of places I could have improved, and I ended up crossing the line, sitting in a 26.399, which obviously at that point was pole, but as we're about to see, by the end of the session that dropped me down to 6th. So not the end of the world, but definitely nowhere near what I could have accomplished. Coming into the race, now everybody in the top 10 was starting on the mediums, because that was by far the clearest strategy, as I'm sure you know if you've driven Bahrain out here, the softs at the start just are horrible. So lining up for the grid, feeling pretty confident. I'm always very nervous on my first laps, especially with such a heavy braking zone like there is at Bahrain. Just want to be really cautious, because I don't want to get any damage. So many times over the past seasons of racing I've got damage onto the first corner. That's just ruined the whole race. So coming in now, it's 5 lights and they're off. I don't get a very good start either, if I'm honest there. IGN Legends behind, who was 2 places behind, has got a ridiculous start coming up my inside. It has a little tap, but that actually meant I was able to sneak up the inside of Sturridge on my left there. And I didn't lose any positions. I actually managed to keep where I started from. So yeah, I was very, very pleased with that. Made it 1 place. Coming into the 3rd corner, you can see I just braked a bit early, just being cautious again. But yeah, I was actually really delighted, considering I bogged down so much at the start. I was able to just be a bit sneaky and got the inside, so that was nice. So now it's just, all I'm thinking about now is just staying calm, just seeing how I can do in the race, see where the race gets me. Coming down into the trickiest corner again, I brake very, very early. I do not want any damage whatsoever. Sturridge gets a little bit frisky on the rear, but yeah, he obviously used his ERS to get away. Around here I did notice that building ERS isn't horrendous if you manage it well. So I'm just concentrating on not using too much at this stage of the race. As you can see, we're only halfway through the first lap and I'm on 14% worn mediums, because I ended up having to do 3 sets during that qualifying session, 3 runs during that qualifying session. I was, really not in a good place for the race strategy, but then this was my saving grace. Somebody binned it round that tight right-hander and pulled out the safety car, which completely saved my strategy. It meant I was able to, hopefully, get these tyres to lap 19 and go onto the softs, whereas I know a bunch of people were going to be doing the medium hard strategy, because that's what the game tells you to do. But I was hoping to try and stretch these as long as possible and go to the softs at the end. So now coming into the safety car restart, Livs at the start is doing a Bottas from Mugello from a couple of years ago, which caused chaos, but luckily we're quite used to that in this year's game, especially with safety car restart. So I got a good jump on the people behind me. IGN was getting battled by Horizon from behind, so that meant that I wasn't pressured into this corner, which meant I was able to take it a bit easy. Did tap Sturridge ever so lightly, as he took an odd line trying to cut back on the inside, so that cost me a bit of time, but luckily I didn't get any damage from it because it was such a light tap. So yes, we're just back underway. Again, not really concentrating on making up positions at this point, just trying to solidify my place. And if anybody makes a mistake, see if I can capitalise on it. But just getting my head down, getting rid of the nerves, still taking it easy because the grid is so bunched up here. People do tend to just brake that bit earlier again. So once again, I brake early, don't want to get anywhere near Sturridge's rear end, and I still managed to get close to it. So yeah, if I'd broken any later, I would have punted him off into Narnia. So I was glad I didn't do that. But coming around this corner here, I just got a bit on the throttle a bit too early, lost the rear end a bit, and that enabled me that enabled Legends to go past us. I nearly sideswiped him, so that was very lucky. Got a warning for a collision. I don't know if we actually did touch. Obviously the game thought we did, but yeah, so that's lost me 1 position there just from getting a little bit greedy with the throttle. So that's how tricky it is around here. But coming on to the pit straight, I do manage to get quite a good run on Legends. Obviously he's only just past me and I'm 1/10 behind him. He seems to have a slightly faster straight line to me, but shoving his slipstream up on the inside, brake a tad bit later, managed to just hit the apex. Swinging across with side by side. This is so close. I'm all over the curb, but I managed to just about hold it without extending. But he just had such a better run out of that corner than me. I'm still there though. I'm not giving up this position easily. But again, just greedy on the throttle coming out of that corner. Luckily, I noticed what was happening early, so I was able to catch it. But yeah, that just wrote off that overtaking manoeuvre. So at this point, I was just talking to myself, saying, "Come on now, don't do anything stupid. There's a long way to go. Plenty of time to get these overtakes done." And so coming into lap 8, it was a bit status quo really. Everything stayed the same. And even though I was still being cautious and I broke at my normal braking point, I still managed to hit the back of Legends and was very, very lucky that I didn't spin him out or spin myself out or get any damage. So yeah, just still not feeling overly confident in the car at this moment. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the heavy fuel. I'm not sure. But I managed to get a good run out of the last corner on Legends here. And he just missed his brake a little bit. I think he locked up, and that opened a little opportunity, so I went for it, but he just got much better traction out of that corner, and I nearly lost it. Again, just getting greedy on the throttle. I really need to work on that this year. I'm just trying to stay more consistent, and the biggest issue I've got is penalties, which I was hoping to be able to stay clean from them this race, but as we'll see later, that might not have gone to plan. But yeah, coming down in lap 9, spending 9 laps now behind this train, this huge train, 6 cars from 1st to 6th. We're all very equal on pace, which is good. But coming down into here, break my normal point, Legends brakes early again, I give him a little nudge, and because of that, I'm able to get alongside him, and with the DRS, I had overtaken him, but I thought it was a bit cheeky, I thought it was a bit unfair, so I lifted off and let him through. I thought that was the fair thing to do. And at this precise moment, I felt like I had a bit extra pace, so if I could just get that break and get ahead of him, I was hoping that I'd be able to to be able to keep that place anyway. So, but Legends has a bit of a wobble on the last corner, and I'm able to get a really good run on him. And I noticed that Sturridge up ahead's ERS light was flashing, so I thought it was now or never. I went to dive around the outside, but Sturridge just got in front of me. But that actually helped, if I'm honest, because I was able to sneak around the outside, get a lovely move on him, all over the curb on the outside of Legends, and that just meant that I couldn't get the traction down as quick as possible. But I'm not giving up. That was one place down, one more to go until I'm in the hunt for the top 3. So yeah, really pleased I was able to get past Sturridge. I think with his just lack of ERS, he was just really starting to hold me Legends up. As you can see now that third has gone from in the DRS train to 1 point, well, nearly 2 seconds up the line. So now my priority was just to get past Legends as quick as possible. And luckily for me, he brakes a bit late there. I think he locked up slightly, and yeah, it meant that without him having DRS and with me having a better run out of that corner, he was a bit of a sitting duck. Obviously, it's not the normal place you go for an overtake, but I just sneak up the inside and I'm able to hold it just in time. So now my priority was just to get down the road, hold him off out of DRS. Even though he was in my DRS zone, I felt like I had that bit extra pace. So we're on a couple more laps now, and we have our first guy coming into the pit. So that's second place that pitted straight onto the medium tyres. So I knew that I'd be able to jump him later down the line. And so I'm up into second. Quirky just ahead, obviously 2 seconds down the line. So I'm just getting my head down, feeling really pleased with where I was in the race, to be honest. Being able to get past those 2 cars I was delighted with. And to my shock, Quirky then comes in and pits onto the hard tyres. So that meant I was the front runner of the alternate strategy, which I was absolutely delighted with. So my plan is now just to hopefully not fight with Legends too much behind. Obviously he's only 4 tenths behind, so he's not far behind at all. I just want to knuckle down, get these tyres to lap 19. On lap 15 you can see they're 62% worn, so I was struggling a little bit with the tyre wear, but I knew that it would be the better strat in the long run. Legends got a really good run on me with the DRS around the last corner there, goes up the outside, but I just brake a bit later, missed the apex, but that worked beautifully as I was able to just cut him off there. A nice clean defensive move, nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I was pleased with that. Really, really important at this stage to stay ahead for me. Obviously with wanting to when I come out on the soft tyres, I want to be in front of him because I don't want to be held up at any point. Coming into lap 17 now, I'm really struggling with the tyres. My pace hasn't been too bad, but as you can see there, it's just getting a bit slippy. I think I'm losing about a second and a half on my best lap on the medium, so it's not ideal. But I've only really started losing that time in these last couple of laps, as I'm now up to 69% tyre wear. But yeah, just trying to keep as consistent as possible. As you can see, based from 2 laps later, I'm only 2 tenths down from lap 17, so it's not horrendous. But at this stage, 76%. I know if I pit now, I can get softs to the end. So as they're brand new softs, that's my plan. With Legends, Caesar, and Pigeon behind, all doing the same strategy. I come in, brake just in time, absolutely nail the speed detection zone, delighted with that. And Legends pits behind me, but Pigeon and Caesar Wizard stay out. So they're obviously going a lap longer. Get a nice little pit stop, 2.6 seconds, that's about average in this game, so I was pleased with that. And now I'm just looking at the track map, trying to see where I'm going to come out, not wanting to drop too far back, because otherwise I've got my work cut out for me. Just do I come out alongside Grunty here, managed to get up the inside, get to the apex before he could turn in, so I'm able to keep that position, so that helped. And what I was hoping, because Grunty actually came out ahead of Legends, that he was able to hold Legends up, but on those brand new soft tyres, he was no match really, so Legends was able to dive up the inside of Grunty there and get the position done. I apologise, by the way, in this game I do tend to use my camera angles a lot, so you might see me flash back quite a few times. If that's off-putting, let me know. But yeah, on lap 20, I'm all over Sturridge again now. Obviously he's on the harder tyres. These fresh softs are just beautiful at this stage. But I'm not wanting to do anything silly. I've got 8 places to gain if I want to take first. Give him a little bit of a tap, but I think I was just surprised at how early he broke, if I'm honest. And I was able to get the move done nice and easily. But because of that little tap, Legend's got an unbelievable run on me here, and I decided to try and defend on the inside. He breaks again. Obviously, we did the same move earlier, so I try and repeat it again, and I pull it off. Managed to keep him behind, so that's my best chance at the minute of defending there with turn 1 just hugging the inside. That's where I get my second warning. So at this stage, if I'm honest, getting 21 laps in with only 2 warnings for me, I was absolutely delighted with, but yeah, I just was really trying hard to not get any more. Now to the end of lap 21, you can see the gap to Quirky Turtle ahead. Obviously he pitted on lap 14 for those medium tyres, so his tyres now are 6 laps old, well 8 laps old, sorry, I can't do maths. So his hards aren't going to be feeling amazing at the minute, whereas my soft, only being a couple laps old, are feeling great. So coming to the end of this lap, just absolutely pulling that gap in like there's no tomorrow. Obviously, because of these moves I'm having to make, I've got 0 ERS left, so I'm just basically making all of my moves through DRS, sneaking up on the inside, coming from behind. He can't compete with the extra tyre grip, so that was again a nice easy move. 1 place down, 3 to go with Ben BF1 Racer ahead. We've got JJ Hudson in second, and in first Livs. Only 6 laps to go, so there's quite a lot of laps to go to make up this grid, but by the end of lap 23, I think Ben had actually pitted under that early safety car, so he'd been on these hard tyres since lap 2, so fair play to him, to be fair. And at this stage, I thought he was just letting me through, so during this race, I was actually thanking him at the time. Little did I know, he's a mischievous little bastard, and did that on purpose just to get in my DRS. So at this point, I'm thinking, oh, everything's great, everything's dandy, now I can concentrate on solidifying this podium and maybe going for a win. But little did I know, because I've got no ERS, with double DRS of him and Legends, they are absolutely raking me in. I realised too late and can't defend up the inside like I normally like to, so I have to resort to braking a bit later. Ben comes swiping across up the inside, and I think that little bit of contact there worked in my favour. Obviously with these fresh softs I was able to just about stay ahead, but coming into this corner I defend up the inside. Legend tries to go around the outside, but yeah, no chance, able to just about hold him off. Learning from earlier on, not being too greedy with my throttle application, that was best. Coming on to the start of lap 25, really putting in Hudson now. I decided to go for a bit of a lunge up the inside, but he's having none of it and just closes the door, pushing me onto the curb. But because of that, it actually put him offline, and he gets a bit loose on the rear there, meaning that I'm able to just sneak up, wrap around the outside, brake a bit later than him. A little bit of a tap, no arm there, but yeah, able to keep the position. And now there's 1 place to go. 2 seconds up the road, 4 laps to go. I am absolutely buzzing at this point. Obviously closing in now, we're on to the end of lap 26. Only 3 laps to go, half a second in it. So at this point I'm absolutely delighted, having the race of my life. And it's only race 1 of season 6. Last season in Division 2. For the whole of the season I think I got 42 points. I actually crossed the line first in 3 races, I think 2 or 3 races, but fell down to off the podium after my corner cutting pens were applied. So I've really tried to just practice and just make sure I don't get any silly penalties this season. So I was delighted to be penalty free by lap 27 round here. And obviously with my main priority now just trying to close Livs to hopefully claim this win. Now only 4 tenths behind him. My soft tyres really have gone past their best now, and obviously with the hard tyres being so consistent, he's kind of were just at the same level from when he got on them. Luckily, because obviously Hudson put up such a fight, he actually put exactly the same fight up for Legends behind, so he held him up for that extra lap, which made me able to push that 2-second gap on Legends. So the beauty of this is that I had no threat from behind, so this was just an all-out war for first place between me and Livs. Coming on to lap 27, 2 laps to go. I'm just trying to be patient. I don't want to go for any silly moves, obviously because DRS around here is so powerful, and because I've got such little ERS, I didn't want to give Livs any chance of being able to get past me on the last lap. So I'm just taking it calm, not doing anything silly. I'm thinking about it on this lap. I get quite a good run out of the last corner, obviously with DRS. But again, I kind of want to make my move on the next lap, really, just so I don't give him the option of getting back past. But I'm closing. Think about it. But no, he manages to brake just to the right spot. But here, I just lose the rear end and...
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I did it! I can't believe it. I was so annoyed with myself. I'd gone the whole race without a penalty. The first race in like 2 seasons I'd gone this far without getting a penalty, and on the lap 28 or 29 with the win in my grasp, I'm a bloody muppet and I go and get my penalty. I was so frustrated with myself. I still am so frustrated with myself, as I'd absolutely thrown away 45 minutes of fantastic driving from my behalf, but I can still get the podium. I can still potentially see if I can push Livs into a mistake. See if at this point I have no idea how many warnings he's on. His ERS light is now flashing on, so that gives me a bit of confidence that I can get this move done. But yeah, just absolutely gutted. But at this point you just can't really think about it, can you? You just got to concentrate on getting the best result possible. Obviously with Legends only being 2.7 seconds behind me, at this point I'm going to drop down into 3rd. So my priority at this point was to try and see if I can overtake Livs, use the DRS and just pull that distance to Legends from behind. I get a really good run out of that last corner, shove on the DRS, and because he's now low on ERS, this move was easy. Really easy. Or so I thought, as he comes up the inside, sticks his nose up there. I give him the room, give him the time of day, but round the outside there was no chance he was going to get me there. But he's not giving up. I was quite surprised that he was fighting this so hard, seeing as I had the penalty. But here he comes up the inside. I brake a bit later. I give him enough room and just about able to hold it. That was really close. That could have been a disaster, that bit there. But yeah, I get the position done, knowing at this point there's not really many overtaking spots left for him to get me past. So now I'm just concentrating on holding that 3-second gap to Legends. Now 3.1. So at this stage I am going down to 2nd place, which obviously I'm gutted with, but way better than I'd done any point last season. Going over to the left hand side of the track, trying to break the toe from Livs with his DRS wide open. I just about managed to keep him ahead. Now it's just a case of just don't do anything stupid, keep the car going straight. Obviously these soft tyres are well past their best now, so just trying to make sure that I don't lose it anywhere. I don't want to get any more penalties, so being very cautious with the track extensions or whatever. At this stage, all my eyes are in Legends, the gap to Legends. I'm starting to feel a bit more confident, as now obviously I'm not going to lose 0.3 seconds through the last corner unless I have a disaster, as I nearly did as I got on the throttle there. But yeah, coming to cross the line, finish another race. I finish in 1st but drop due to pens. Oh, absolutely heartbroken if I'm honest, but I can't be overly disappointed, I suppose, with a 2nd place. I mean, 2nd place and the fastest lap, I might add, so that's 19 points to start me off for the season. So considering I only got 42 last season, getting just under half of my points from the whole of last season in one race is a pretty good way to kick it off. So yeah, that's my Bahrain race for Season 6 in RSF1 Division 2. Mixed emotions, if I'm honest. Obviously, throwing away another win just from my own stupidity. But yeah, not horrendous. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. I'm planning on putting up my whole season here. Hopefully I can get a successful season. The next 2 races, if I'm honest, I'm not very confident about. We've got Imola coming up and then Portimao, which are both tracks I've not really driven a huge amount on. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the video. There's much more improvements to be done. Sorry about the quality as well. I don't have a capture card, so the only way I'm able to record these is uploading them to Twitch, and then downloading them from Twitch onto my laptop, editing them. But yeah, let me know. Congratulations to La Livs. He had such a well-controlled race there and managed to hold me off and under pressure, making sure he didn't get any penalties. So yeah, well done to Livs and well done to Legends. What a battle I had with him all race long there. I know there wasn't that many side-by-side moments with him, but pretty much from lap 1 to lap 29 we were within a couple seconds. So yeah, really good race with him. Yeah, can't wait for the next one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Fuck's sake, I can't talk. I don't know how to do an outro. This will do. Bye bye.